Welcome into Mock Trial Masterclass, your guide to controlling the courtroom. I'm Luke and I want you to be a mock trial master. Let's talk about how you can make that happen. We are right in the thick of mock trial season in both high school and college, and I've been working with my own team and with plenty of you guys all around the country on helping you all prepare for your upcoming competitions. It's been super fun. I've loved doing it, and I've noticed myself giving one specific bit of feedback over and over again, and it's really, really important to get right, so I want to go over it in this video. The specific feedback covers something that both your directs and your crosses really always need. And if you don't have it in there, I think scores are going to notice more often than not. I certainly will if I happen to be scoring or judging your round. We're going to dive into exactly what that is in just 1 second, and I'm going to teach you how to implement it into your directs and crosses. Before we do that though, I want to remind you that if there's any topic at all you want to see me cover in a future video on this channel, just leave a comment below. I love tackling the topics that you guys want to talk about, that you guys want to address. That makes it a whole lot more fun for me, so be sure to leave a comment if you have an idea. All right, you ready to hop in? Let's do it. So the thing I'm talking about that your directs and your crosses always need are what's called signposts. Now, if you're a mock trial veteran, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but don't tune out yet because this really is an important reminder for you guys. And if you're new to mock trial, you may not know what I'm talking about, and so I'm going to break it down for you. A signpost is simply an introductory sentence or phrase in the middle of a direct examination or cross-examination that tells a jury where you're going, tells the judge where you're going, tells the witness where you're going. Just like a sign that you would see on the side of the road, a signpost, right? It tells you what street are we at, right? Where are we going next? Let me give you an example. So I'm direct examining a witness who's an expert, and I'm talking to them about their educational background. And I say, can you tell us where you went to college? And they say, well, I went to Kennesaw State University. I say, what did you study? They say, well, I studied genetics, and I ultimately went on and got a PhD in genetics. And now I say, because I'm ready to transition, I say, all right, Dr. Hever, now I want to talk about how you got involved with this case. Right, that little introductory sentence, that little introductory phrase, that's an example of a signpost. All I'm doing there, again, is telling everyone in the room, here's where we're going next. Now, you might not think that's that big of a deal, but I promise you it is. Because over the course of a mock trial round, which is typically going to be between 2 and 3 hours, it can become very easy to get bogged down and lost in the midst of all the information you're hearing. Oftentimes, judges and jurors have not even read the problem before they come into a trial. And so it's your job as an attorney to help those judges and jurors, to guide them along so they really understand the points you're making. I've heard so many directs and crosses over my years of being involved in mock trial that I had no idea what points were being made, where anybody was going. And I think a lot of the time it wasn't so much a content problem, it really just came down to the attorney wasn't using signposts. I mean, I tend to struggle with attention and focusing on things for a long period of time. And so when I'm listening to attorney in mock trial and they're able to use signposts to tell me where we're going next, it is hugely, hugely helpful for me. So what do I want you to do? Well, I want you to make sure that every one of your directs and crosses uses signposts. Where do you use them? Well, you use them anytime you're transitioning from one pocket of questions or topic of questions to another. A good direct or a good cross is going to have a natural, what I would call organizational structure. In other words, let's take a cross. Let's say you're crossing the defendant and you have 3 main points. You're going to cross the defendant on their credibility. You're going to question them on the fact that their alibi doesn't add up. And you're going to question them on their prior criminal history. Okay, we have these 3 pockets. Anytime we're transitioning from one of those pockets to another, I would use a signpost. The same goes for direct examination. You want to use those signposts anytime you're transitioning to the next topic. And a lot of times it's just as simple as, well, now let's talk about blank, or let's move on to blank, right? Just those simple little statements make all the difference for your examinations. This is a really simple teaching. This is a really short video, but it's a hugely impactful one. It's very, very important to get this right. If you want to know more about the fundamentals of mock trial, how to do things like this well, I cover a lot in my book, Mock Trial Masterclass. I go over a ton of fundamentals in here. And if you want to pick up a copy, you can click a link in the description on YouTube or in the show notes on podcast platforms. I think it's going to help you take your performance to the next level, especially if you're newer to mock trial and just learning the fundamentals. But again, don't underthink this, right? Don't think this is just something you can gloss over. It's hugely important. It makes a big difference, and it's going to help your scores go way up.